We arrived back in the search region with about 10 or 12 parts left before we would be in dark phase, at which point we would have to suspend the search, as the only way to search in darkness is thermal viewing filters or source crossing. But source crossing requires some kind of comm signal. And viewing filters would do no good, as they are very rudimentary, and visual searching was difficult enough in full light phase, much less full dark phase. The coming dark phase would be a rather long one, a little over a spin and half, so it was important that we at least finish up in the area we were covering. That way, we could use the downtime during the dark phase to move on to the next area of coverage. As I've stated before, our days and nights, as you refer to light and dark phases, are not as regular as yours are, because our orbiting home planet is much bigger than your moon, so we have two main sources of light in our sky, and the types of light, how it shifts, and how long it lasts alter as our two bodies juxtapose with our home star, which is why our light and darkness evolve through cycles, much like the phases of your moon. The difference is, while your nights can be darker or lighter depending on how full your moon is, our day phases are just as variable, depending on what combination of star direct and planet reflection we happen to be experiencing at the time. I actually didn't realize how much I enjoyed the sight of our home planet in the sky, despite our many growing differences with the people there, even those in our parent division. But from what I can see in pictures and my host's own memories, you truly have a lonely sky. As it turns out, we wouldn't be moving on from this region. About 3 parts after we arrived and rotated fresh scouts and operators back out to search, we got a call from one of the scouts that they had discovered a downship. We assumed it was our missing scout, but it wasn't. 3 questions were answered for us in the few parts of day phase that remained for us. The first was, there, indeed, was at least one more ship involved in what we now confirmed was the robbery of some of our crops in the Crystal Plains. What looked to be a roughly modified civil transport had been cut in half laterally, the open bed to serve as a holding area, looking much like one of your world's larger dump trucks, only much longer, towing a hover hauler. Both the transport and the hauler were loaded with poorly constructed stacks of crystal, a lot of which was loose and spilling, leaving a debris field that allowed us to discover it in the first place. There was no movement around the area, so the operators were likely either gone or dead, as it wasn't likely that they would still be inside a cold wreck in this weather as they were still alive and able to get out. The second question that was answered was that magmars still occur this far north. A magmar is like a tech belch, a magnetic pulse from the ground that first hits with a jolt, then drains all of the energy out of your lithium packs. Magmars vary in intensity, so the drain on your power will vary as well. Most magmars drain slowly enough that you are able to set down safely in most cases. But strong magmars hitting smaller ships when they are higher up can result in terrible tragedy. Our technology is generally very safe, but we are human too, and subject to the same laws of gravity that you are here. And in either world, a dead drop from what you would measure to be several hundred feet in the air is not very healthy in either world. The third question, where was everybody else then? Was answered not too long after, when we found our missing scout. It appeared that 3641 had fallen victim to a magmar as well, just as they were coming upon the 3 men who had fled the wrecked transport on foot, and were now in the Scout Guardian's custody.